stories we only think we know. Today, we're tracing the real history of Juneteenth. Juneteenth. On June 19, 1865, the last enslaved people in Texas finally learned they were free. 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. This is the story of how a delayed promise became a national day of freedom. What is Juneteenth? The name blends June and 19th. Juneteenth commemorates the emancipation of enslaved African Americans. It is the oldest celebration marking the end of slavery in the United States, and since 2021, the newest federal holiday. The setup, 1863. The story begins in 1863. On January 1st, the Emancipation Proclamation declared that enslaved people in the Confederate States would be forever free. But freedom on paper meant little without any army to enforce it. And in remote, Confederate-held Texas, slavery continued. Then came June 19, 1865. Union General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas, and issued General Order No. 3, announcing that all enslaved people were free. That day, roughly 250,000 people in Texas learned of their freedom. Why did it take 2.5 years? Texas was the most remote Confederate state, with few Union troops to enforce the law. Many enslavers deliberately withheld the news to hold people through one more harvest. Only the arrival of Union soldiers turned that proclamation into lived freedom. Freedom became a tradition almost immediately. By 1866, communities in Texas were marking June 19th with prayer, song, and feasting. In 1872, formerly enslaved residents pooled their money to buy land in Houston for the celebration, a place known today as Emancipation Park. Juneteenth is a day of both remembrance and joy. Red foods and drinks like red velvet cake and strawberry soda symbolize resilience and the blood of ancestors. Families gather for cookouts, music, and parades, and share readings, prayer, and song. Carried across the nation. As millions of Black Americans moved north and west during the Great Migration, they carried Juneteenth with them. The holiday took root far beyond Texas. In 1980, Texas became the first state to make Juneteenth an official holiday. Fading and renewal. Through the Jim Crow era, public observance faded, but the civil rights movement helped bring it back. In 1968, the Poor People's Campaign and its Solidarity Day, held near June 19th, renewed national attention and carried Juneteenth home to the communities across the country. Grandmother of Juneteenth. No one is more associated with modern Juneteenth than Opal Lee, the grandmother of Juneteenth. In 2016, at 89 years old, she began walking from Fort Worth towards Washington in 2.5-mile stretches. One for each year freedom was delayed. Her campaign helped make Juneteenth a federal holiday. On June 17, 2021, the Juneteenth National Independence Day Act was signed into law. It became the 11th federal holiday and the first established since Martin Luther King Jr. Day in 1983. It passed the Senate unanimously. Honoring Juneteenth at work means observance over optics. Educate and listen, centering Black colleagues' voices. Give people time and space to reflect. Invest in the community and tie the day to year-round commitments, not a single annual gesture. Juneteenth holds both grief and joy, the long delay of freedom and its hard-won arrival. It asks us to remember honestly and to keep working toward the freedom it promises. Thank you and happy Juneteenth. Thanks for watching I Know History, or do I? If you learned something today, hit subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep questioning what you think you know.